Hi, in today's video, I am going to discuss you about how to create a business goal for any of the project because as in when we are working on the agile environment, it's always important for us to define the business goal as well as the objects for any of the project, which is essentially required when we are working as a product owner or someone. Hence, here I'm going to discuss about a tool called Atlas because Atlas is one kind of tool which is majorly used to define the goal of a business or something of that sort, especially in the field of agile environment. So in this, first we need to create a project because I am going to show you from the creation of the project so that being into the learners, you will be understood this well in advance. So here you can see there is an option for creating a project. So here we need to provide the project name for, right? So for example, I'm giving a project name called inventory management system. Okay. Inventory management system is what something which has a project which I'm giving, right? So we have to create a project first. So when being into the product owner role, so whenever we are trying to understand the role of a product owner, it's always important for us to understand how to go for a project because how to create a project is what something which we have to be known with means we need to update the goals. If you are a product owner, one of the major responsibility is to define the goal of a product. So if you want to define the goal of a product is important from the context of the product owner because product owner are the owners of a product who should understand the long-term goals, whatever we want to achieve for a particular solution you are going to develop by the technical team. So by keeping view into mind, so wherein we need to update the goals, whatever the goals are required and all, everything has to be updated. At the same time, if you want to update the goals and all, we need to have the project updates as well. And whatever the work are we going to do, that has to be updated first. So if you want to update any kind of work, what that we are going to do and all. So first of all, we need to have a project wherein we have created, you can see inventory management system is what something as a project which I have taken as an example. So here we need to update the details about the project first. The first thing we are going to do as a product owner when we wants to create. So the first thing what is that we used to do is to mention about what are we going to do here, right? So because even from the context of the team members, when we are working on the team, as a agile team, development team, the very first thing what is that we have to do is to explain what you are doing, right? So the first of all, what you're doing is what something we need to update. So at the same time, why are we doing this? Means for what purpose are we doing this? And what kind of success are we going to see in this? And followed by, and is there any kind of additional comments and all of the thing? First, we need to update this, right? That is the first thing we have to do. So here I'm going to update what are we doing, okay? So here I'm writing down, right? So here we need to do the editing part. We are planning to develop an inventory management system so that team can manage the stock position, etc. Right? So this is where generally, right, sorry. Right, so so here we need to write what are we doing, right? So we are developing an inventory management system. Okay, this is what something which we are developing. What are we doing, right? So why are we doing this? So inventory management system is useful to manage the stock position, right? So if you want to know about the stock position, right? So how much stock went on, right? So for that purpose, generally to manage the stock position so that if there is any shortage of stock is there in the inventory so that we can order it, right? So for that purpose, generally we are doing, this is where, why are we doing it? Next, what will be the success looks like, right? So that's what success is to ensure the inventory team can manage their inventory effectively. Okay, this is what's generally the success which normally we looks like. So when we are trying to define the goal of any of the product, what is that you are going to develop? As an example, I have taken for inventory management system. First thing, what is that we need to do? We need to update the details, like for what purpose are we doing this application? So why are we doing it? And for what will be the success looks like? So that we have to be updated. Next, in connect to that, if there is any kind of additional comments to be written, we can write it. That is something add on to this. Now, once we have mentioned about the update part, here we need to mention the updates, right? So if there are any updates, whatever was done so far and all, everything we can see over here. At the same time, if there are any kind of learnings and all, everything, of there is there any kind of risk which is involved? So we need to write down the risk as well as the kind of decisions what we have taken. So that I'll explain it later. So first of all, we need to write down the update. Next, what are the goals we want to achieve? This is where something which I told you, we have to update the goal here, right? So what is that goal we are trying to achieve is what something we need to update. So goal is to uh, status of inventory, right? So status of inventory is what something which has a goal which team has to know. Okay, status of inventory is the goal we wants to we wants to achieve, because inventory management system wants to know about the status of inventory. That's what the goal we have defined. So here, wherein here we need to pick the date, for example May, right? So May is the date we have taken. Now we can create, right? So this is where generally creation of goal, right? So status of an inventory is one of the goal which we have created so far. Like this, if there are any other goals for existing project what we are working on, if you want to update any kind of goals to the existing stuff, this can be status of inventory is one. Okay. Second, we are going to add one more goal here. It's not only status of inventory, effective inventory, effective implementation of inventory control techniques. Inventory control techniques, because there are different inventory control techniques like two-bin system, right? So ABC analysis, right? So because if you want to manage the inventory and if you want to know about the stock position, there are different inventory control techniques like ABC analysis, two-bin systems are there. So wherein that is of one more goal which we wants to achieve, right? So these are the two major goals which we have to define, right? So at the same time, we need to define the date wherein we need to define the target date itself and wherein we have to create. So here you can see there are contributions of goals where are updated over here. You can see over here, wherein two things. One is about status of inventory is the goal we have defined. At the same time, whatever the effectiveness in implementing the inventory control techniques is also one of the goals. So if you are a product owner, so when you are working as a product owner, especially in the field of agile environment, so defining the goal and contributing towards the goal of the solution, what we are going to define is what something which we have to do in this regard. So this is how generally using Atlassian as a tool. So how to define the goal and how to contribute towards the goal of the solution of relating to inventory management system, what we are about to develop is what something being a product owner, the first thing which we have to do. This is the first and foremost thing. So before we are writing down the epics user stories and all, understanding over the contribution of business goals and all everything is what something we have to be updated in this regard. This is all about this video. If you have any questions, if you have any queries, or if you want any practical approach of product owner training, agile product owner training, scrum product owner related trainings, please reach out to the contact details which will be provided in below to this video. Thank you.